Hello and welcome back to another episode of Sugar Packet Gaming's Pixelmon server. I am your host Austin Easy here, and today we're going to take a look at how to use the MCEdit, a Minecraft editor program. As you can see, we've built up the Petalburg City here behind me. I've got the Pokemon Center there with the acacia wood and the gym behind me with the birch wood. Not too worried about the gym, as that comes into play later, and we'll get to that in a future episode. Today, as I said, we're going to use MCEdit specifically for the Pokemon Center. We built a Pokemon Center for the other town, and it's a duplicate. As you know, playing the game, every Poke Center is basically the exact same building. It's got just different characters inside. So, I mean, we certainly could sit here and just build up the whole thing, and to me that would be silly though, but because we have the product of MCEdit right there available to us, which would copy and paste something so much faster. So we're going to take a moment to switch over to that. So before we begin though, it is important to note that you cannot have your world running while you're editing it. So you have to shut down completely your Minecraft. You don't know if to get all the way out. It recommends you just get out of the world, but I play it safe. I get it all the way out. So I'll meet you back here in a second inside MCEdit. Here we are back again inside MCEdit. As you see, it does have that warning about not running Minecraft at the same time as you're running MCEdit. So we are not. We have everything turned off. One of the things you need to do is you're going to have to find your world, whatever you're doing. I've already been working on it, so I do have Pixelmon Hoenn right there. So let's do that. So it remembers where I was. I was sitting right there in the middle of this town. As you can see, there's my guy right there. So that's where it picks me up here in this one. These purple blocks, because this version of MCEdit I'm using doesn't recognize these new woods, so the acacia wood there and the dark oaks back there come out as purple blocks. You know, if we're holding our mouse over it, you can see at the bottom of that it says future block. All upset about it. And that's okay. I know what's going on there, so we don't have to worry about it too much. Thing we want to do though is we want to go out to where we have the interiors of all these buildings, because we need to do a copy and a paste there. And for the record, I'm down here with selection mode, and moving around is the same as we do in Minecraft creative mode. So you know, your A and your D key is moving sideways, your W and your S key, they actually, wherever you're facing, is in and out like that. And right mouse clicking and dragging moves your view around. We're not going to left click yet because that's actually going to drag this selector. We'll get there in a second. And we also have the Q and the Z key. The Q key goes up and down for Z. So that's how we're going to move around here. So W, A, S, Z, Q. The other thing that we can do to move around, something that's a lot faster, is we're going to come up here to the MCEdit menu, and we have this go to. We can also command G, Control G to get that done. All of our stuff, you said, remember, if you remember from our previous episode, was at negative 4,000. So we're going to just go to out there, close this menu, and you can see this is where our stuff is. For the record, this is the interior of the gym. We did build that. If you remember in the storyline, at this point you find out your father is in the gym, and he says, you can't fight me yet, you have to go to Rustboro first. And so it's just a small room at this time. We're going to come back and build it. This thing over here, though, this big pink guy, this is our Pokey Center from the other town. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to put a selection around this guy. Oops, excuse me. Move closer towards it there. Back up a little bit, and yeah, it looks good. So this can get a little tricky. Trying to do 3D work here in a 2D space has its issues, but we're just going to make a rough try here. So I'm going to grab right out here, and with my left mouse button, I'm going to click and drag out here. So I know that I have encompassed, as far as I can tell, the entirety of the Pokemon Center. So that looks about good. I'm going to let go. Now MCEdit does quite a few things for us. Now that we have a selection in place and it's marked by these two boxes, we've got the blue box up here and we've got the yellow box down there. We get this menu up here. This menu does a whole bunch of cool stuff for us. Deselect, of course, gets rid of the whole thing. Select chunks, delete chunks, or blocks, delete entities, analyze. I mean, hold your mouse over, you can get all these things here. The one that's going to make a big difference for us is this copy guy, but we're not quite ready yet. As we're going to come down here and look, we've only got this one layer here right in the grass. So if we grabbed it, we've got the floor of the Pokemon Center, and that's about it. We also want to double check that we're at the sides here, because we want to have just big enough but not too much. So as you can see here, I've gone too wide this way. So these nudge buttons down here are going to become our friends. I'm going to click and hold down on the yellow one that corresponds with this guy, and then again we can use our WASD keys to kind of move it into place. So I'm going to tap the A key a couple times so I'm right there on the edge of that wall, and I can see that I'm already right there behind that, which is good. So let's fly over to the other side here and see. Oh, yep, that blue key is definitely too far over there. We're actually going to do this though. To make sure that we're high enough, we're going to tap the blue key, and remember Q was up, so as I'm tapping Q there, we're going up. And I can see that I got everything including those block of redstones up there. So, yep, that looks all good. So now I'm going to again hold down that blue button and I'm going to tap the D key, so I've got it right there on the edge of this guy. That's all looking good there. And now let's get in the back. Yeah, see, I'm cutting into the house back there. We don't want to do that. So one more time, holding onto the blue, tapping the D key. So it's just on the back of the Pokemon Center there. It looks like that's good. That whole thing seems to be good. Alright, and we do want to make sure here. This yellow box is buried down into the level once. We want one part of the ground there, because the floor inside the Pokemon Center is down in level with this grass, so we want to make sure it's down there. Okay, so we've got all that. We're going to say copy, and you can tell right up here on the right hand side now that we've got this thing. It shows our Pokemon building, and it's going to keep track for us. We can make several copies, and it's got them all out here, and we can choose to do this. The great thing about this, and why don't we go ahead and do it right now, if we say save, it's going to create a separate file called a schematic, and we can bring that schematic into another completely different Minecraft world. So like here I've got generic house already in a schematic, and I've also got a Pokemon Center that I've done this before once. So I'm going to say cancel to this one, but yes, you can save out a schematic and save them over. So if I wanted to bring my Pokemon Center into a different Pixelmon world, we certainly can. So now that I've got that, I'm going to deselect everything, and we're going to come over here next to where the gym was, just to keep them relatively close. And this is just for my sake. I mean, you can certainly maneuver it as you want it, but I've gotten fairly used to, since I know I grabbed a chunk of that ground when I copied that guy over there, I'm going to remove a chunk of this ground here to prepare for it. So I'm just going to click and drag just a huge chunk there. So now I've got that one chunk of ground. I'm going to say delete blocks. So now that whole thing is gone. We say deselect, and you can see all the grass is gone, which is awesome. So now to paste something, it's the same thing that you would do in any other Windows program. It's Control V. If you need to, it's not in there, so I guess we would have to do something like that, and we could say paste, and it would bring this guy in here for us if we wanted to. But you can just Control V. So now it is right where my cursor is here in the center of the screen. It is trying to put the floor wherever my mouse is pointing. So at the moment it's the dirt right there in the center of the screen. It's hard to tell, so I'm looking down there in the bottom corner of that grass to make sure that it lines up pretty good there, and then I'm going to click to set it into place. Now be careful, we're not quite there yet. We do have this nudge stuff, so if we really needed to, we can go, oops, I really did mean to kind of move it over. So holding that down again, we can move this over, that kind of stuff. Oh, it's messing with that guy. Still, rotate if you wanted to make sure that it's facing a different direction, which I don't, so I'm going to rotate it all the way back. But of course, roll means to put it on its side. It would be there. Upside down. And then back to normal. And again, flip is doing all the same thing. Mirror, you can see what they're doing. We also have these guys here, which is the copy. If there was air and water, well, of course there's air. All this little pockets of stuff, keeping it so it's air there. And copy biomes. If we were pulling this out of the jungle section, it would make it so just this part that we copied would be jungle. So we'd have plains, 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 jungle, and then plains, plains. So that's all good. Now that we've got there, we do want to click on this import button, or as you can see, the shortcut says to enter, so just hitting enter on your keyboard locks it into place. And now deselecting makes it so that is now out here as part of the new town. So we've got the old Pokemon Center there, and an exact copy of it over here. Ready to go, part of our new world. So we're going to do that one more time because the Pokey Center, Pokey Shop is exactly the same, and that's this guy right here. So again, I am going to go click and drag to get this thing here, and yellow needs to come over a few. Did I go too far? Nope, didn't go quite far enough. Blue needs to come over too. Oops. And now let's do blue over a couple. And down. Back out a little bit. We need to get the blue to come up some, so Q button to get those up there. Get all those nice little glow stones. I'm actually going to give myself one little bit there. And I think that's all of it. So we're going to copy that. And again, you can see up here that it's given us now the copy of the Pokemon Shop and the Pokemon Center, both there if we want to save either one of those, and it's keeping them in its memory. So deselect that. We're going to run over here, and again, this thing, the way our town is set up, is right about here. It's just behind us. So actually, for space-wise, I think I'm going to do that. Oops. Come out this way. I'm going to put it right behind the Pokemon Center. I don't think that'll hurt anything in the long run. So there, we want to delete the blocks, deselect, Control V, paste that thing. Make sure. Everything looks good. Even though that's nestled right up next to it. Push it back. I don't want it right next to that Pokemon Center. I think that'll be good. So I'm going to go ahead and hit enter, lock it into place. While we're here, it's because I'm a little bit anal like that. I don't like leaving these holes here. So if we go in here, oops, nope, that wasn't quite what I wanted to do. So right where this dirt is, we can go right there, and we do have down here on the bottom fill and replace. Totally different thing, but we can say grass, and okay, fill, and deselect, and you can see it's filled in. I put it on the bottom. That's funny. Let's give it one more shot there the right way. So again, we're going to go fill with the grass, fill, deselect, and there we go. It's all nice and filled in now. got one more over there, and then we will call it done for this particular portion. Fill, K, deselect. Alright. So last thing we need to do is, as it's telling us down here, unsaved edits. Control S to save. Basically it thinks we've done 8 different things here. We might have, I wasn't keeping track, but I'm going to go ahead and do that. Control S, or again we can do up here, and we do have the save button right there. So it's writing all those things into the world file, and then we will quit out. So in just a second I want to reload the actual Minecraft game so we can take a look at what we've done. Okay, here we are back inside the game. Right here next to the Pokemon Center. But, of course, these buttons don't work yet. We haven't hooked them up. So, we need to do just a simple edit. So, we're going to TP myself. Let's go -4125. About 100 in the air. And I believe we're at -114. So, let's go. I'm on top of the gym. So, this is the Pokemon Center that we just moved with Hoenn. Excuse me, an MCEdit. So again, we had that one thing of separation. This was that one block that we left out when we were there. Everything else is filled in nicely. So we just need to get some readings on where this stuff is at so we can put it in the proper place. Because we did copy it, the thing that's in here has one, but I tried to adjust it, so if you see here, that's not going to take us to the right place. We need to make sure we got the right one that's in there. And I don't have my notes where with me. We're just going to do the Pokemon Center and call it good for there. So in this one, I did take the notes for the Pokemon Center that's back in town, so we are going to leave the TP at P. But we are looking at -126. 1-2-6. Excuse me, 117. And then we were at a height of 70 and -97 for our Z coordinate. And we'll say done. I'm gonna have to break in there, so let's go down and get the, where is it? Pink stained clay. Test this out. Oops, before we do that though, we want to get these measurements. So we're at -40 for 100, 70 still, and -80. So we weren't that far off. Okay, so now if we hit this button, it should put us right outside the Pokemon Center. Voila. Okay. And we're going to knock ourselves in here. Oops, I guess I forgot to put the command block in this one. Just a little bit of redstone to go along with it. So command block there, redstone /TP at P, and then we're going to go -4100, 70, -80. Say done. We need that acacia wood again. Where did it go? There it is. Put that log back in. So our person comes running up, and they go, "Yay, Pokemon Center!" And here we are in our duplicate version. Quite simply, we don't want people going in different towns and showing up at the same Pokemon Center. So we needed to have these duplicate ones. So this is the one for Petalburg. And again, leaving this one should put us right back where we were. Awesome. And that's the way it's going. I'm going to do that same kind of thing to get the shop that we just put in, to get our Pokemon shop going there. And then we'll be all set. I'm going to do the same thing for a couple of those, because Wally's house back here looks exactly like one of the houses back from Little Root back in there, and this one does as well. So we're going to do a lot of copy pasting, setting all these buttons up to go to the right place. And I think that's going to do it for today. So let's get right over here. On behalf of Sugar Packet Gaming, this was Austin Easy. Thanks so much for tuning in to learn a little bit about how MCEdit works, and now we're going to get a lot of these interiors done. So make sure to hit that like and subscribe if you want to keep on learning how to build your own server. Thanks.
Every challenge along our way, with courage we will face. We will battle every day to claim our rightful place.